Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And so we just want to welcome you. We hope you'll sit back, relax, and let's talk tech in a way that's easy to understand so that you can use it in your everyday life and in your business. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we're the Biz Chicks. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Fran, what do you have for us this week, Francine Gregory?
Okay, our first story is about the first man made object on the moon, September 14th, 1959. I can show these pictures too, can't I? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait, what planet am I on? Oh, and I did not start us over on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Share the screen, go like that, and there we go. So, the first man made object on the moon, the Soviet space probe Luna 2, crashes onto the surface of the moon,
Hmm.
becoming the first man made object to reach the moon, as well as the first man made object to reach any celestial body.
Oh, wow. So we left some junk up there. It's the first time we visited. Nice.
Okay, yeah, so we, meaning the Soviets,
I'm
left it.
meaning man.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see what else do I got going on here. Hold on a minute. I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to
That looks so
bizarre.
science fictiony, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like some stuff that you'd see on.
Something a kid would bring to a science fair.
Yes, like they raided the closet.
Hmm.
All right, so that is the first story. The second story, can you still see?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
we're scrolling. Uh-huh.
So the last Apple II, September 15th, 1986, Apple introduced the Apple II GS, the last major product release in the Apple II series of personal computers, blending the older Apple II series computer with the aspects from the Macintosh computer, the advanced graphics and sound capabilities of the 2GS, hence the name, was ahead of other contemporary computers such as the Macintosh and IBM PC.
Mm.
However, Apple chose to focus on the Macintosh line of computers and eventually ceased development of the Apple II series. And the last of the series was produced December of 1992, and they got rid of it. And it's good to know. Well, it's interesting to know that this was a really relatively easy computer to operate. You know how we are now, where we can take something and drag it to the trash can?
Yeah.
That was outstanding back in the day, where you can click on it, drag something to the trash can, or maneuver something around. You couldn't do that on uh, some of the other computers of the time.
Oh, okay.
So that graphical interface was really, really good. So, September 16th, 1985, 5 months after losing control of the company in the boardroom, Steve Jobs resigns from Apple and goes on to found Next and purchase Pixar before eventually returning to Apple. And 12 years to the day after resigning from Apple, Steve Jobs is named as an interim CEO. Only 7 months earlier, Jobs' company Next was purchased by Apple. And 2 months earlier, Gil Amelio, he resigned as a CEO. And much of the technology acquired with the purchase of Next was used to build the Mac OS X operating system, which became the core of the iOS operating system that runs iPhone and iPad.
Mm.
Mhm. NASA unveils Enterprise
Mhm.
September 17th, 1976. NASA rolls out the first space shuttle Enterprise from its assembly facility to a waiting crowd, included in the crowd was a delegation of actors from the Star Trek TV series.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally to be named the Constitution, but a write-in campaign by the Star Trek fans convinced King Washington. Uh, by the Star Trek fans convinced President Gerald Ford and NASA to rename the space shuttle. The power of a community. The Enterprise was a prototype shuttle designed for the early testing phase of the shuttle program. It was built without engines or functional heat shield while it performed various atmospheric test flights and was originally intended to be retrofitted for space flight. It was determined that it would be less expensive to build new shuttles. So therefore, it never did actually fly into space.
Wow.
So yeah, very interesting. Um, when you have a community, that's a powerful thing, and that's what
Mhm.
happened with Star Trek, right? Star Trek is a
Mhm.
huge community, and they had such sway that they were able to get this thing renamed from the Constitution to Enterprise.
That's what you call influence.
That's influence. Let's see. And we just talked about the next operating system
Mhm.
that was released. It was released in 1989. It was a computer releases a version 1 of Next Step, an object-oriented multitasking operating system originally designed to run on the next brand of computers. It was later ported to other architectures such as the Intel 86. Often considered years ahead of its time, Next Step brought to market many advanced features that were not seen together in other operating systems for
Mm.
nearly 10 years. Its powerful object-oriented development environment was also used for the creation of the World Wide Web. Apple acquired in 1997, Apple acquired Next Computer to build their next generation operating system on the Next Step architecture, later named Mac OS X. Today, iOS that runs on iPhone and iPad is descended from the Mac OS X and Next Step.
That's interesting.
Really? Yes, it is. So turn that frown sideways. Uh, in a posting made to a Carnegie Mellon bulletin board, Professor Scott Fallman proposes the first known use of emoticons, also known as smileycons or smileys. While the use of emoticons became widespread during the 80s and 90s, their origin remained unknown until September 10th, 2002, when the original message was retrieved from backup tape. So that little colon with the dash and the closed parenthesis, uh, this was his text. I propose that the following character sequence for joke markers. Uh, okay. Read it sideways. Actually, it's probably more economical to mark things that are not jokes given current trends for this use. Okay.
So if it's facing the other way, it's not a joke. And if it's
Well,
facing out, it is a joke.
yeah, it's sad or happy or sad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now we have emojis for that. In the September 20th, 1954, the first Fortran
Mm.
program is executed. Fortran was developed by IBM scientists who were looking for a better way to program the IBM 704 mainframe computer. It quickly became the dominant programming language for
For
scientific
scientific. Hmm.
and engineering application. It is still used today, and especially in the area of high performance computing. And that's what they were using to try and get.
In Hidden Figures,
Yeah, they were
when she took the book out of the library.
trying and said, "Let me read this." Okay, so Galileo completes a Jupiter mission. That was September 21st, 2003. After 14 years in space, 8 of those as the first man made object orbiting Jupiter, the unnamed NASA spacecraft Galileo is sent into the atmosphere of the giant planet. NASA decided to end the mission in this manner in order to avoid any possibility of it colliding with one of Jupiter's moons and potentially contaminating it with bacteria from Earth. Really? Well, yeah, okay. Yes, we could. Okay. September 22nd, 1986, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California rules that computer code is protected under copyright law. And the ruling stems from the case of NEC Corp versus Intel Corp, which was having a battle over who had the right to produce the x86 processors. The ruling, while finding that Intel had the copyright protection for the code, also found that reverse engineering the code was legal. Wow. And therefore, NEC did not violate Intel's copyright in producing their own x86. So you can go in there and copy and reverse engineer. Wow. That's interesting. And I got one story here. Let me stop this screen and bring up the other one. Tech that's making history.
Mm-hmm.
I think I stopped that. Tech making history. Let's go there. Present. I'm learning how to maneuver around here.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yes.
There is a
Ah.
new high-speed rail that's going opens today,
Ah.
and that was September 21st, which is yesterday. The Bright Line Rail opened yesterday, linking Miami and Orlando in the first major city-to-city private U.S. train line in 4 decades.
Wow.
The trip takes 3.5 hours, about 30 minutes faster than driving. And a round trip fare costs $158
Oh,
and $298.
that's not bad.
Aside from being huge news for people who want to start their day at the Magic Kingdom and end it dancing at E11, even the new route represents significant progress in the push for more high-speed rail in a country that is still very fond of its autos.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, Amtrak is testing for faster trains in the New Jersey area. California is looking at
Getting us to Las Vegas.
Yeah, Southern Cal to Las Vegas. I still don't understand that dynamic, but okay. And the state of California and a company in Texas want to build high-speed rail lines of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Though both projects have encountered problems with land ownership and funding. And while Amtrak has long dominated the U.S. railway system, a wave of privatization could soon take over. Brightline has made some rapid headway since it started operating in 2018.
I have a question. Are they operating on the same tracks, Or did they build their own tracks?
See, I don't know, but it seems to me those look like some new tracks that might have been laid. Who I don't know.
Yeah, and my question is this: then how is that? Well, yeah, of course you don't know the answer to this, but how's that going to integrate with the current rail system? Do you have to get off and transfer? You know what I mean?
Right. And okay, so there's something else that stuck out to me that it shaved off 30 minutes of drive time. I'm like, okay, if
You're
I'm not
as,
driving, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that's just 30 minutes of drive time.
but the difference, what you have to remember, is that America is aging, and people may not want to drive.
Well, I
Or
understand that too.
mhm, I mean, there's an audience for this. Is where I'm
Oh,
going with
I
this saying.
understand. I just was thinking, okay, I was thinking that it was a
It's
fast
not a lot. It's not a lot of time saved, but it's an
excuse me.
experience. I get to sit on the train, look out the window, play
And
cards.
I don't technically have to drive. I get
Exactly. And we can just party all the way to Miami or whatever. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. So that's tech making history. And when all of us get together here, I have I always got quizzes.
Yes. So we'll come back with the quizzes.
Hmm.
Someone is backstage. Oh, Dr. Tachi is
Yeah.
backstage.
Yep.
Hi,
Hey,
Doc.
Doc. So, do you have anything to weigh in on for the train, the Bright Line that opened up linking Miami and Orlando?
I do. Give me just a second so I can
Okay.
put in the right mic.
Yeah, especially since she's in Florida. This really does impact her. But
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why everybody's trying to get trains to Vegas. You remember the last week we talked about Utah and some other
I'm
wonderful
like,
place.
I don't understand. And when they say SoCal, they did not mean Los Angeles to Vegas because that made sense.
Is
This
that
was,
is there going to be an Olympics there in 2028? Somebody Google that.
yeah, it
What?
is. The Olympics is gonna be in LA, but not in the
Okay,
Valley.
so maybe they want them to go to the Olympics in the daytime and come up to Vegas for nighttime
I
entertainment.
don't know.
But everybody seems to be trying to make that the destination. I'm
Okay.
like,
I,
okay,
so let me weigh in on the Orlando thing. So I
yeah,
heard you all talking about the tracks, whether or not they were new. So the Bright Line already exists between Miami and West Palm Beach. So that's on for. I mean, you guys are from the East Coast originally, so you'll
mhm,
know 95 or
yes,
I-95 as they call it. So it runs parallel with I-95 basically.
Oh, okay.
Or US one, same thing. So it's up and it's north and south basically, but it Orlando is west of here. It's central Florida. So you basically would go north, right, and then
mhm,
cut across west to get to Orlando. So there is no train really that goes that way. I think Amtrak, yes, but it's a little more. Yeah, Amtrak goes to like Winter Park, which is like Orlando area. But so these tracks could possibly be new because Brightline was not going that way. I don't know where, if it goes to actual Orlando or if it's just Orlando area. So if so, it could be the same train lines because here it's using the Brightline is using the same exact train lines that Amtrak does.
Okay.
oh,
So, but
okay,
it could be that they did lay some new track depending on where in Orlando it goes. So if it goes into Orlando proper, then yes, because
uh-huh,
I don't know that Amtrak goes to Orlando proper, just like Orlando area. But yeah, so I think it's interesting. Here's my thing as well.
mhm,
Is it worth it? So again, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, which is Fort Lauderdale, Miami is really one area. So for me to drive to Miami is
mhm,
about like 40 minutes. It depends. If it's north Miami, if there's no traffic, I could get there in like 35 minutes. But if we're talking about
mhm,
downtown Miami during the day, I need to spend about an hour, maybe more, depending on the traffic. So for me, it's 3 hours to get to Orlando from here. So yeah, it's about maybe three and a half, four, depending on what time you're going. So I don't know if, and what was the price on that again? It was 100 and what?
158 and 298.
Round
158.
trip.
So 298 round trip. Okay. So
And okay, wait. I want to
I
make sure
think
you're
it
saying that
means,
right.
are you going first class? Are you going coach?
Well, it
Because
says,
oh,
and a
price.
round trip fare costs between 158 and 298.
yes, and Brightline does have a quote first class experience where you get accesses to the lounge, etc. So
Hmm.
maybe if you're trying to, really not drive as you all were saying and just
Hmm.
sit back and relax, that's fine. But to be honest, it, it depends. It's not something that I would do all the time. So to me, the time save is just half an hour. And yeah, time saved is time saved. But if they were talking about, oh, from Miami, you get there in 3 hours instead of four, then I'd be like, okay. But just half an hour, you might as well drive. Because then I'm thinking about, okay, the gas, you could basically get to Orlando on like one tank of gas, right? Basically, maybe a little more. If you're full, you should be able to get to Orlando on one tank of gas, which is not going to cost you 100 and something dollars, depending on what car you have, right? So I
Hmm.
guess it's penny wise, pound foolish that you need to really make the assessment. If it's something that you're doing all the time, it may not be worth it. If it's a sometime thing or a one time thing, maybe because so you don't have to drive or whatever. But here's the other thing to think about it with this, because we were going to, when D Nice came to Miami, my friends and I, we were like, okay, we're going to go. And I said, hey, why don't we take Brightline so we don't have to drive? Because you already know it's going to be crazy. So they were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Well, something happened and we ended up like not taking Brightline, which was good because the traffic was not bad at all. But they run on such a tight schedule. It's like they stopped running at, when was the last Bright Line leave? I think it left Miami at like midnight, and I knew we were going to be there way past midnight. So if you have to be places at certain times or you're wanting to come back, you have to catch that last train, or too bad for you. So can you imagine being stranded in Orlando because you missed the last train? It's not an
Hmm.
all night thing. So that's another thing you have to consider as well, the
Wow.
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. So that is your week in tech history. I have a quiz for everybody when we can do the quiz now, and we can check your answers later, or it's all up to you. Uh,
Okay.
Well, everybody's in the house now, and we have um,
Carlos,
Carlos in the
Hey,
house. Yes.
Carlos.
Hmm.
I don't want to hold y'all up, so you let me know.
Yay, quiz.
Yeah.
Quiz. Okay. Okay. So let me get in here and pull this quiz up. I like doing, I like quizzes and things of that nature. Oh, I guess I need to do it from my phone, seeing as that's not working from the. All right, here it is. The quiz. You ready?
Hmm.
And you can put your answers in the chat, whatever. This is from a news stories that have occurred over the last week. So, which workplace stopped enforcing its unofficial dress code?
Mm.
A, US Senate. B, United Nations. C, the Vatican. D, McKinsey.
Hmm.
Now,
Okay.
so I guess you all can.
Do you want me to post that?
Where do we put it in the chat?
Yeah, I guess we can put it in the chat. If we put it in the chat, it's going to go all over everywhere.
All over the place.
Um, you can put it in the private chat so we can see the answers.
Okay.
I guess that works without it populating all over. You get to play along, Carlos. A was the U.S. Senate. B was the United Nations. C, the Vatican. D, McKinsey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. The FTC, Federal Trade okay. FTC began accepting refund applications this week for unwanted purchases made in which video game? A. Clash of Clans. B. Fortnite. C. Candy Crush Saga. D. Stardew Valley.
Hmm.
Terry, you can play some quiz
Oh,
music.
some music.
Some quiz music, yes. Okay. Ready for the next question? Here we go. On Monday, this is question 3. On Monday, which state became the first to abolish cash bail? Uh-oh. Hang
Who
on.
was that?
The first state to abolish cash bail. Let
Oh,
me see.
cash sale. Okay.
Cash, like CASH,
Cash. Okay.
bail, BAIL.
Oh, cash bail. I thought you said cash sales.
Bail.
Bail.
Yeah.
Bail. Okay.
A, Illinois. B, California. C, New York. D, Oregon.
Hmm.
Question number 4, fill in the blank. AMC's CEO hinted that the theater chain could start selling its own A, beer. B, reclining chairs. C, licorice rope. D, wine. Question number 5. An early painting by which artist went up for auction in Minneapolis this week with an estimated price of $9.85 million? A, Banksy. B, Bob Ross. C, Georgia O'Keeffe. D, George W. Bush. Okay. Anybody? Let's see what let's see our answers over here. Okay. On the first question, which was the U.S. Senate will stop enforcing its unofficial dress code. So that was A. Everybody got that? Right. I should give you guys points. So Terry, TJ.
I did not. I said D just to be different.
Yes, it was the U.S. Senate. Okay, and the FTC is accepting refund applications for unwanted purchases in Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Which is
Yes.
B? Was that B?
That was
that
B.
was B. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Illinois became the first state to
Oh.
abolish cash bail.
See, I
Oh,
couldn't
really?
remember. Mm.
Well, I'll talk
Yeah,
about it
comment,
after.
please.
Well, okay, so obviously when we're talking about Illinois, we talk about the epicenter of any criminal justice system being Chicago, right?
Right.
I have an issue with the entire system, but abolishing cash bail is purposely done and pointed at certain communities, because now if you can't pay in cash, what are the ways of accepting? Do we know? Are they talking about not credit cards, but like bank cards or whatever?
Exactly. How do you pay bail if you don't have another way? If you don't have a house to put up for collateral,
Mhm.
or you don't have a way, you can't put it on MasterCard.
No, and see, here's the thing: a lot of these people may not have, because the people that they're targeting are often poorer communities and communities of color, particularly Black people. And so, when you're targeting these individuals, some of these people are the same ones that don't have bank accounts. Not that
Right.
they should not, but they don't have bank accounts. So the way they mostly operate is
Cash.
using cash. So
Right.
if you take this away, you are not even inadvertently, because you're purposely keeping them in jail
Mhm.
because they cannot pay in cash, which is the way they normally pay. It's really pointed. Why would you say, who cares? Money is money. I don't care if I give you $10,000 in pennies, it's still currency, and I should be able to pay it however I want. But you purposely putting regulation in place to abolish cash shows that you purposely are trying to keep a particular population filled in your prisons and your jails. Shame on you. How very dare you?
Okay.
I'm finished.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The CEO of AMC Theaters tweeted about branded wine.
Okay, I
Did you
just
see my
guessed at
answer?
that.
Branded
Let's see.
wine. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their own wine.
Okay.
She said antiseptic spray for the filthy chairs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I haven't been to the theater in a long time. Um,
Sorry, your experience. Remember when I was asking about theaters and you talked about sticky I that right there. I said, "Oh, they're not
Sticky
ready."
floors.
And
Sticky
sticky
floors too.
floors,
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about that, and this was like the supposed new way, newfangled theater. I said that they still have the same sticky floors from 1972. They're not ready for me. So
Mm.
your experience was what made me say no. I'm good at home.
yeah, when the cup holder has soda in it, it's like not because it was in a cup either. I was like, nope, I'm not going.
I'm trying to remember what the inside of a theater looks like because I haven't been to one in quite a while.
You can make your home the inside of a theater.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Honestly, all jokes aside,
Mm-hmm.
theater now is where you make it. There's this whole concept, and I'm sure you all have heard about it. When I was going to the last time I was at NAB, or probably three NABs ago, they were talking about the whole concept of TV everywhere. Same thing with
Right.
Right.
NATI, TV everywhere. TV is where you make it on whatever device, etc. So now
Mm-hmm.
there's this whole concept now, because especially because of the pandemic, of theater anywhere, cinema anywhere, that it is in your home, it is on your device, and you don't necessarily have to go into a theater to experience theater things. In fact, I'm going to post this today because we just started the new term and I'm teaching understanding movies this semester. So this is making me think. I'm actually going to post today and ask what students think about that. Thank you, Tech
Oh, you're
Divas.
welcome.
Mm.
Yeah, because this is I wait till all of them hit. Okay, let it finish playing out in the theaters. Y'all can have it first. I will wait until it comes to streaming
Mm.
and pay the Disney stuff. I wait and catch all the Marvel stuff from the comfort of my couch in the office.
Yup.
I'm not going to the theater.
And also realize Gen Z is the leader in this. We watch on whatever device they have, which is probably their phone. They
Right.
don't care about a big screen experience. That's
Mm-mm.
not how they grew up. They grew up digitally on devices. So a big screen to them is like, well, we don't really care. We just want to watch it, and they watch it on their phone.
Right. And that means that the what is the monies and revenue coming in from the popcorn, licorice, and all that stuff doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, look, COVID is coming back. And I think I might have said this. I don't remember when I said it. I said, we're moving into a hybrid world. Some people remote work. Some people have to go in a few days.
Mhm.
The shopping, you can go into the grocery store or use Instacart or Amazon or Fresh or whatever. There's like a division there. Like, I don't have to strictly go to the store. I can buy something online, go to Walmart, Target, and they put it in my car. I pull up and they put it in my car. Who doesn't want that? I do. Sign me up. So I'm like,
And
a movie theater, There hasn't been a movie that I want to see that badly.
But I can't wait until it comes to the theater in my house, right there on that
Right,
TV.
because we got streaming. Like you said, you got Disney, we got Netflix. Who I have, and I don't have Hulu, but I'm just saying that you have the streaming, so it's going to eventually come to streaming, and it's like you said, the comfort of my own home.
And I can make popcorn in my own
Who
microwave.
needs to go to the sticky floor, sticky seat, fight with somebody with the armrest? With the best, pick the best seat.
The more you talk about it, the less and less I want to go back. And I am a filmmaker. The interesting thing is, you guys know I watch a lot of YouTube, and there's this one YouTuber. I don't know, call it a guilty pleasure or whatever, but she's really cool. Her name is Raven Elise, and she's a young YouTuber. She's getting ready to turn 30, and her thing is DIY, but also doing these wonderful parties at her home. And really, she's gotten all this money and built this company off of being an influencer. And I've actually watched her since the beginning, and it's amazing. So what she does, she's done like 2 or 3 parties for friends, and then also for her daughter and her friends that are all based off of movie and cinema. So she's got this beautiful pool. So she's done these outdoor movie nights. She's got this wonderful pool. She actually bought a popcorn machine. She bought the popcorn thing, the popcorn holders and containers, and she actually made on a Cricut put each person's name on it for the kids and that type of thing. So she's made a customized experience to be like, well, damn, I want to go. So when you can do things like that for basically pennies on the dollar, when it's like compared to actually spending money and going out, I would much rather hang out with people that I want to hang out with and watch the movies we want to watch. I mean, Barbie is already out on Prime, right?
Really?
Yes, it's out. It's already out, and it's still in the theater simultaneously, but it's already out. So it's like,
that's a sign that that's what people want. Like friends said, the comfort of my own home.
You see her here diving.
They're greedy. They're greedy. They want us to come into the movie theater. I'm like, not me. You're not giving me anything good enough to go.
So, there you are, the dive-in movie night. That was it. I mean, really, she is a lot of fun. And she does all these things. Like, she does these amazing DIYs, and she is the queen of throwing soirees and parties.
I want to see that. I'm gonna look for her channel.
Look for it. Yeah,
I will.
This is good. Because
see what that is. Let me say real quick. That's creative thinking there. Creatively doing something and seeing a niche of, okay, people need to figure out, how can I have a party at home or have something in my home and make it special, a one-time event, and I don't have to go out. I'm pretty sure she didn't break the bank. And then, having it outdoors, that gets the people to come over and say, well, what about COVID's coming back? Well, it's outdoors. We're doing a movie night outside, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have this and that. And then she decorates it, I'm assuming, because I haven't seen it, but she decorates it where it's fun
for the kids, like an end of.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to play it without audio.
Yeah, bring it up.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna play. It's 30 minutes, so I'm not doing 30 minutes. Let me find the part.
Yeah, if you scrub through to closer to the end, like the beginnings of her things are always like them testing out things and going to shop, and then
she's showing how she bought. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, popcorn buckets. That looks cool.
Yeah. Glow in the dark popcorn buckets.
Okay? Glow in the dark?
This child.
She's crafty.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm not mad at what I got, but they've got hats, necklaces. I'll get these. It's $3. One 50-foot light duty, not heavy duty, because I don't have heavy duty, extension cord to reach from the patio all the way down.
A lot of people don't want to do the things that she's doing, but she
should be enough.
Do it.
Exactly.
So she could charge to do this, go to people's houses and set it up.
Well, now see, here's the thing that she does. She
she
is
does.
no, she doesn't.
To finish
Oh, she
off
does.
these,
She's putting
popcorn
together like
goodie
a
buckets
course.
that we
Tell you how to
started.
do this
We've
stuff.
got all the decals on them, glow in the dark with each kid's name. They turned out super cute. I want to fill them
That's
with
cool.
candy first and foremost. I got Sour Patch Kids and M&Ms, one for each.
These kids are gonna be
I'm just
flipping
gonna
out.
put them in there like that. I decided to just make it
She
all
did
equal. That way there's no
Barbie
fight.
birthday party for her
And I'm
daughter.
gonna try to
You
be
got to
equal
go
with
through
everything
and see
else
some of the
too.
things
I
she's
should be
done.
able to. I got all this
I'm gonna
like
check out the
LED
channel.
instead of like glow in the dark. It's LED, so it actually lights up and it should last longer than just regular glow in the dark stuff. So does it work though? Oh yeah, color changing LED lights. Got little bracelets, rings, glasses. So I definitely want to give each kid glasses. Is there a matching color for their
I'm gonna
little
skip
goodie
ahead.
box for the kids? They are obviously going to take out all this stuff and like use it during the party, play with the glow in the dark stuff, play with the bubbles, eat the candy, and then if they want to, they can use their bucket to eat popcorn out of during the party. But we also have other ones. It has a
Is that a cornhole? The corn
LED
thing?
Yeah.
something. I forgot. I don't know how it turns on or if it's like
So they could also play
just glow in the
games and
dark.
stuff.
Oh, they open.
It's also a pool party.
A little bit of twine.
And they
Woo!
got snow
And then here's your
cones.
little spoon thingy. Okay, wait. Do a taste test for us. Stir it up, maybe, because that's gonna be real flavorful.
And it's a pool party.
And see, they can sit on the floaties and watch. Look at this. Now, who wants to go and sit in a rubbish theater after this?
Got hot dogs and everything. Okay, I'm in. Come on, Steve.
Look at this.
Oh, yes, that's how you move it. Okay.
You see why I'm enamored by her channel.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I'll go to that movie and I can set that something to that effect up at my house. Get the popcorn,
Exactly.
set it up, and
Right.
And this is another thing that, everybody needs to think about. We keep thinking about TV only and streaming as competition for the theater and at home. It's also YouTubers like this that are teaching you how to do things to your liking, and you can get ideas from them. That's also quote unquote competition, right?
Mhm.
So the theaters are not thinking about that, but that's also a lower level competition for all of that. So theaters need to look at, all right, all of this is out there. How can we replicate this experience in the theaters? Because now people are used to being at home for this. And I know this is different, but can we do an at home quote experience? Or can we make these kind of experiences as part of a different thing? Is there a different room where we can have like sofas and things, where it can be like truly at home? So thinking about how they can up the participation levels at their theaters.
yeah, and I would still pay the $20, even if I'm at home. You know what I mean? I would still pay you the $20, but I want to be at home.
Exactly. And if it's something like Barbie is not free. You have to pay for it, right? If it's on Amazon Prime, you pay for it. But
Right.
even if if it was, and it's not exorbitant, but even if it was something exorbitant, right? You say, hey, okay, I want to do this. Can we all split the cost of that and
Right.
then do it that way? And it's going to be way less than what it would be to the theater.
Disney has it where I can share a group, like a group theater night, where we can all join together.
Like a watch party?
Yeah, kind of like a watch party, and you can set the film, and I can invite you guys to do the watch party.
Okay.
So,
I like.
final question was the guy who was the artist. Bob Ross painting went up for auction at $9.85 million valuation.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that this morning. Said it took him 30 minutes to make that painting. They said the one that sold.
And this is the thing, because we didn't have time to talk about it, but it was one of my stories
Hmm.
for Mediascope. And there he made that show. The Joy of Painting was made for that local, I think it was Muncie, Indiana
The
PBS
local. Hmm.
station. And
Hmm.
he made over 1,000 paintings for that show while it was on the air. And yeah,
Mhm.
basically he was doing them all in the 30 minutes that it took to
Correct.
do it. And the what is it, the technique that he used was wet on wet. So
Hmm.
basically he would have his canvas, and he would
Hmm.
either do a white coat first or black, depending on what the background was going to be, so that it would
Right.
be slightly wet when he started to paint. That allows for the paint to glide a little bit easier, for easier blending than starting on a dry canvas. So
Mm.
that's also the technique, part of the technique that the Florida Highwaymen used. I don't know if you know about them, but the Florida Highwaymen were a group of black artists who traveled up and down the highway selling their art. They were artists, and they
Hmm.
sold Florida. Like landscape scenes, different things of the Everglades, etc., and they would sell their paintings on the side of the road. And so
Mhm.
they're actually worth some decent money now if you happen to have a Florida Highwayman painting. And I
Oh,
think one of them
yeah.
was actually a woman. But so check it out if you all are interested. The Florida Highwaymen. It's part of Florida history and part of art history.
Wow.
Wow.
What we
Yeah, I will check
learn on BizChicks Tech Life Weekly, man. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Well, this
Sure.
is good stuff. Terry, Terralina, you're up.
Oh, okay. I won't be long. I just want to share with you a website called Roam Around. Are y'all familiar with that?
I am not.
Okay,
No.
let me see if I can share my screen. Here we go. Okay. It's called Roam Around, and what you do is you put in your city. So I'm going to put in Sacramento, California, and let's see what we get. Now is my screen changing where you are?
Yeah, I see it. It's
It's looking.
processing, yes.
Yes. AI is going to go in and find out what's going on in Sacramento.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? That takes a lot of time from you having to go to different websites to find out.
Exactly.
Okay, let me go
Exactly.
to SAC 365. Then,
So here you
wow.
are. It says you're now chatting with Romy, which I'm not going to do, but it's an AI travel planner. And it says, "Hi, I'm Romy, your personal AI travel assistant. Can I help you customize your trip so you can travel exactly how you like to?" And so you can put in any special requests in this little box here. But
So,
let me tell you what it came up with.
okay.
Go ahead. What were we going to say, Fran?
No, no, no. I'm watching this because I'm
Okay.
like, had no idea about the mill. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it tells you, Sacramento's the capital of California, yada,
Yeah.
yada, yada, old Sacramento. And then it says you can start your day with a delicious breakfast, and it recommends the meal at Broadway and some other things to do in old Sacramento. Then for the afternoon, it suggests you go to the Waterboy restaurant serving seasonal California cuisine. It's got recommendations for the evening, and then if you want to see some amazing hotels, you can click here where it says bedtime. And then you can start day two, outdoor adventurous and local delights. So I thought that this was an interesting way to get information even about your local town. Let's say you just moved to town and you want to
Right.
know what to do, where to go. Here is an a website that it's not an app. It's a website that I'm here. It's on my desktop, um, that will allow me to come up with an itinerary that I think would be unique and helpful, because a lot of times we don't even know what's in our own town. Okay.
Wow.
I know. And here it is at our fingertips. So, or in towns that we're getting ready to explore.
And that would have been good when we were traveling around in New York,
Yeah.
in Queens or wherever we were. I think that was good. I like it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like it. And I hope that you'll use it. It's called roamaround.oi.
Is it roaming or is it roamaround.i?
Roam around.
Okay. So you can put that in the chat. We can
Mm-hmm.
roam around. That's good.
Put that
I'm
in the
like, where
chat.
do I want to go? Because I was looking for breakfast the other day. You know how you want breakfast, like real eggs, potatoes, and something. I wanted breakfast, and I was like, okay, I do not want Denny's, IHOP, or I wanted a little bit more substance.
Yeah. So there you go. I put it in the chat and I put it in the private chat for you guys, as
Cool.
well as in the public chat.
Thank
So,
you.
and I thought you might want to use that. So
I
that's
shall
what I
use
have for you today. I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I'm going to pass on to Terry.
Okay.
TT.
All righty. Let me open up my notes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had them, but I didn't. Okay. All right. This week in social media news and updates. Let's start with Snapchat, as always. Just a little thing about Snapchat. They have reached 5 million paying members.
Ooh,
Snapchat Plus.
All right.
paying
So they're
members.
saying
Good
they
for
got
them.
Snapchat Plus, 5 million paying members, rising from 4 million back in June. They've added a million more paying subscribers in those months.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying they're generating close to 20 million per month in direct revenue from that. And they're saying that the Snapchat Plus is a small fraction of the overall Snap users. So they're saying that they have over 750 monthly active users, and they're saying only 0.67% of Snap users are paying to use the app. So, but they're getting, for Snapchat, this is good. And as you can see, and we talked a little bit about this on Tuesday about social media apps going towards paying subscription, because it is something that they are getting a little money for. It's not a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something.
And it's
Yeah.
offsetting the cost. And had Be Real done this, they
Mm-hmm.
might still be somewhere on the planet.
Could be. Could be. So we say happy for Snapchat, but as I said on Tuesday, this kind of opens the door where every other app is now uh, sniffing around looking for ways to get money from subscriptions, and that's, we're going to talk about that with Meta a little bit later. Let's talk about T2 now. If you don't remember, we talked about T2 way back when I think Elon Musk bought X, Twitter, whatever you're calling it, and all these other little Twitter pop-ups came up. So T2 was one. I think it was T2 Social, but I I haven't used it. I think we had to get on a list. I don't remember. I dropped
I
it.
don't think I ever got the
Yeah, we were supposed to get it.
authorization to
Right,
go
we were
in.
supposed to get in. Somehow you're supposed to get in. So now T2 is changing their name to Pebble. Do we care? No. No, here's a little quote from Pebble. A pebble is something small and unassuming. It can be tossed into the vast ocean like a tiny message sent out to the world. Each has its own unique character. Some are round and friendly, some have edges to them. They make ripples that expand ever outward and change the nature of the sea itself. As they collect on shore, they create a spectacular beach where people can gather and admire the view. It's a place we can visit and share ideas in times of joy, sadness, concern, and celebration. That's it. So, T2 Pebble, it's not gonna last. Nobody knows about it.
because T2 took too long to get people in there when they had a foot in the door.
Right. So Pebble, take a look if you like. I didn't. So there you have it. Now we got another new one called Slingshot.
Oh, I like that name. Okay, go ahead.
Shot. Okay, so let me pull up the little visual so we can see what Slingshot is all about. Let me share my screen.
We got some David and Goliath stuff going on here. Go ahead.
Is that it? Can you see? Oh, nothing's showing up. What happened?
It's obviously it's a private
It doesn't want to show up. Okay, so never mind that. I don't know what's going on. All right, so Slingshot, it's a playful new app, lets you sling quick photos to friends. So I'm gonna let me see if I can
sling photos.
Hey,
if you can, I'll do this.
Is it different because we call it slinging instead of sending?
So what it is that you pull to refresh and the camera opens and then it slings a photo to your friend.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on
Can you
solo.
see that? Can you see that?
Yeah,
it's complicated.
You pull to refresh, it opens the camera, you take a picture, and it flings it back to your friends over here. These are your friends.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that's.
Is it like Be Real? Because this is not.
Yes, that was Be Real was mentioned. So let me get back to my notes. So so it's they're saying clever, not my words. A clever new app called Slingshot is combining the serendipity of Be Real snaps with the friends only photo sharing popularized by apps like Snapchat. You pull down on the screen as if pulling a slingshot. Pull back.
You pull back and let it go.
Reveal the app's camera. Then your photo flies off the screen and heads to the friends app where it arrives as a bouncing bubble. So this is I think no, that was T2 was the people from Twitter. So this new app was designed by Tommy Cyril, who after graduating from the University of Michigan recruited friends to work on a mindfulness journaling app, and then he did this instead. So there's your app, Slingshot.
He should have stuck with the journal. Go ahead.
Because I have to open up another app besides my picture and I can take my photo.
Oh, fine. Because it's fun to bling ding.
It's the experience of the noise, the little noise.
It's not enough of a dopamine hit for me to be doing all that. It would have to, because I can, if there's a picture that I want to send to you, because I can put all my friends in a group, because that's what I'm going to have to do for Slingshot, it sounds like. And then I can just push the thing and hit send and send it to all of the people who are in that group, right?
Yes.
Oh.
The Slingshot feature can be put into any app that you have now. So that's what I'm saying. This is dead on arrival. Somebody could copy. Snapchat could put that in their app. Because they've already got users, see? Meta has users.
Is this one of those hashtag who asked for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Could be, but it was connected with Be Real. They use the word Be Real. And I'm like, any of these little feature apps, they can be put on by whatever. Oh, hold on. I gotta go off camera for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Again, hashtag who asked for this?
This is just weird. Why would I want to move out of an app?
See, these are features. Meta can put this in Instagram. Snapchat can put it's done deal. I don't need.
I think it's already there in different ways.
Not this feature. You
not the
sling and the camera opens up. It's not there.
Okay, but I still have to put another app on my phone in order to do that, and I'm not wanting to do that.
So if this is a thing, Snapchat can put it in their app. If this is the thing, Meta can put it in their app. It's already there. If you go to Threads and pull down the little icon springs, that's what it is. It's a feature. It's a nothing. It's not a separate app. So this person, and I think Dr. Taji said this before this week about them doing things to be sold. So he's done
Yeah.
it already. So Snapchat could buy this and just fold it into Snapchat, or
Okay.
Meta could buy it. But Meta's not buying it because they got developers that can do that already.
We
So,
can make it happen.
but is it a thing? Do they want to? That's the key. So this is another. I'm not going to download because it's not going to be around. Just like all the other things the little apps that we talked about, they're not around. Be Real is not around. So,
and you're trying to move someone who's already engaged with Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok. You're trying to get them to move from something they're already ingrained with and get them over here to participate on that.
Right. And it only, the way it's working now is it's working with Twitter. People are leaving Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it, because it's not satisfactory. So I'm going to move somewhere else. That's why we talked about this week that fan base is getting all of these signups, because finally they are getting tired of the shenanigans on X. So now the latest X thing is that Elon Musk says he's going to charge everybody.
Yeah.
That was a statement he made in an interview. It could happen or not. It could happen or it could not. It's just something that he says. This is why I don't pay attention to anything that's going on over in X, because this guy gets to say whatever he wants and people jump like E.F. Button, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So he said something in an interview. Oh, we might charge a small fee because the bot. It's just a throwaway phrase in an interview. And it makes people scatter and everything, which is good because now the other apps are getting the benefit of it. So Fanbase is getting the benefit of it. Threads is getting the benefit of it. Some of the others, if you wanted to try out Mastodon or Blue Sky, here's your chance, because every time this guy says something, it's like people just, okay, I'm leaving. So he said something in an interview and it's off the rails. So that's a volatile situation. So it's not, people are like, oh, I'm business this. I'm like, you're crazy, not X. All right, so let's move on to Microsoft and Bing Chat. Microsoft has added DAL E3 to Bing Chat. So they have access to OpenAI DAL E3 image generator for users to create images in the chat. It's already been there in Bing Chat. It's just moving from 2 to 3. They're also adding new shopping features to Bing. Bing can ask users specific questions on how a product will be used, or other more personalized questions, so people can pinpoint the right product that suits their needs. Bing also lets people find and use discount codes and more. So just expect to see a lot of things in Bing, and also Bard, Google's thing. So they've added some stuff too. All right. So speaking of DAL E3, OpenAI has unveiled DAL E3, and they are putting that into play. So DAL E converts text prompts to images, but DAL E2 got things wrong. So they're saying that DAL E3 understands context much better.
Okay.
So they're saying OpenAI is saying that it uses ChatGPT to help fill in the prompts. Via ChatGPT, subscribers to OpenAI premium ChatGPT plans plus an Evernote can type in a request for an image, and you can fine tune it through conversations with the chatbot, and you get the results directly within the chat app. ChatGPT will take a prompt as short as a few words and make it more descriptive. And this is all because of the DAL E3 model, which of course Microsoft has access to it, because Microsoft and OpenAI are kind of partners in this thing where Microsoft is putting money into OpenAI. So that looks good. So if you use DAL E, that is going to be an upgrade. Speaking of OpenAI, this is not image or text. Well, it is text-based, but not image. George R.R. Martin and other authors are suing OpenAI for copyright infringement. So there is a big lawsuit getting together, against OpenAI because they're saying that the generative AI models and tools were learned or taught on their content, which is copyright protected. So the Authors Guild and 17 well-known authors like Jonathan Franzen, John Grisham, George R. Martin, and Jodi Picoult filed a lawsuit in the Southern District of New York. They want to do a class action. They're saying OpenAI copied plaintiffs' works wholesale without permission or consideration and fed the copyrighted materials into large language models. So they are looking to get their coins, which they will get their coins because it's copyrighted material.
Correct. Can they prove that they actually took the book and said, do this based on this?
That's going to be a part of the lawsuit. And I've heard some rumblings of, yes, they can tell. And I think it was with J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books. Like there was some way they could tell, like the model learned on books like that. So, and it makes sense because the large language models did not learn out of the air. They had to get content from somewhere. So content that was already written, which is copywritten. Now, this isn't going to stop ChatGPT. This isn't going to stop generative. It's not stopping the train. What this is that the authors are getting on for their money.
They
will get their money.
Yes.
They will get the money.
There was something that there was a lawsuit that the judge said that anything created with AI could not be copied. It's not protected by copyright.
Right. It's not protected by copyright. And and there's a thing going on with images, speaking of DALL-E, not DALL-E per se, but it's just that a lot of people are using the image generators and they're saying, make me something in the style of, and using an artist's name. Well, that is copyright infringement. So they're coming after that. So you can do that for personal, but if you use it and say, make me a book cover in the style of Vincent Van Gogh or whoever, and then you use that book cover and sell a book on Amazon, they're coming after you. And they're going to get their money because you use a derivative of a copyright published work. Now, the key with this lawsuit and others like it, expect more, is that they have to figure out how much the original copyright holder gets. They're going to get their money. That's a done deal. It's just these lawsuits are to figure out the carving of the pie of who gets the percentage of what. This isn't going to stop AI. This is stopping chat. This train is not stopping. They can sign letters. They can protest out in front of OpenAI's. They can go to it's not stopping. What's happening is it's being divided and chopped up as to who gets paid what. OpenAI is making like billions of dollars off of this, so they can here's your cut, they can do that. They can do that. They can do that. So here's one of the things I found interesting from the article. They're saying in the complaint, why didn't OpenAI train GPT on works in the public domain? Good question. Good question. So what happened is they trained it on copyright material without paying the licensing fee. So this is all about the licensing fee. It's not about guilt, good, bad, right, wrong. This is about the authors lining up and saying, you used my book to train this model, and people are coming in and making derivatives of my work. Pay me. And OpenAI is like, okay, let's go to the table and see who gets what. So somebody like George R. Martin is going to get a bigger cut than somebody who is I'm not an obscure author, somebody not as famous. But there will be cuts. There will be slices of the pie. OpenAI knows that. So it's not a fact of fighting it. It's just a matter of who gets what. That's what this is about. So, but like I said, expect more to come. More like this to come. So it's not like they're going to shut OpenAI down. It's going to shut ChatGPT down. Not at all. Not happening. Okay, so more on the AI train. There's a lot of that today. YouTube has announced a new AI-based creator tool called
Mhm.
YouTube Create. And I got something popping up. Stop popping up. I thought I fixed my notifications. These things are annoying. All right, so YouTube debuts a new app, YouTube Create, for editing videos, adding effects, and more. So it will offer a suite of easy to use free tools that will allow creators to make both shorts and longer videos. The tool aims to address some of the challenges creators face, including the editing process and ability to leverage creative tools, including things like stickers, gifts, and effects. They YouTube said it consulted with 3,000 creators on the development of the new app and designed it according to their feedback. So to use the tool, creators will add their clips, then choose from a range of editing tools to begin creating a video. Basically, if you've used TikTok to make a video, this is what it is. It's just going to be a whole bunch of cool things in there to make your videos cool like TikTok. So here's a couple of things that's going to be in this app. Audio cleanup, remove background noise. Audio captions available in English, Hindi, and Spanish to start. Filters, effects, and transitions. Simplified video editing tools all presented on a single screen. Access to royalty-free songs and sound effects. And direct publishing to YouTube, including both shorts and long form content, so that you'll have access to royalty-free tracks, music to add to your videos. The songs are copyright safe, so you don't have to worry about copyright strikes. And the tool will match the beat of the song to the video clip to keep everything in sync. That's also
Mm.
from TikTok. So a lot of the trends that's going on with video, they're putting it on. And at present, the app is available on Android only. Ooh.
Mm.
But it'll come to iOS. Don't worry. Also, another thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, huh?
I said, uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Also, more AI stuff from YouTube. They have an AI idea generator for your YouTube clips. You'll put in a prompt,
Mhm.
and the system will highlight the related videos by also giving you prompts on the content that you could create, even down to a full downloadable content outline. Now that looks interesting. So this, I believe, this tool is in your studio, YouTube Studio. And from the picture, it looks like there'll be a box to type in a prompt, just like with Bing Chat or ChatGPT or anything. You say, "Oh, make me a video about blah blah blah," and then it will spit out the outline and help you and all those other things.
Mm.
One more AI tool. YouTube is testing an automatic dubbing tool. So this will allow you to create videos in other languages without having to speak the other language. Now
I
I've seen
love it.
this dubbing tool on some other things. So this look for this feature to be a trend for the rest of the year and into next. Making videos, and then you speak your native language, and then it automatically translates what you're saying, your actual voice, into the other language. I've seen
Wow.
it work, not in YouTube. I've seen it work on some other tools. Pretty cool. And that is what YouTube has. Oh, one more from Google. Google Bard chatbot can now tap into your Google Apps, double check answers, and it can scan your Gmail, Docs, and Drive to help you find the information you're looking for. So it's an integration with Bard into Google Apps. So you can use Bard to do some AI assistant things within the Google, not Google, the Google apps. So they're saying they're calling it extensions, but Barb will be able to go into your email, your Google Drive, and find things that you ask it to do. Google says that they won't use the information to train Bard's public model, nor will it be seen by human reviewers. You also don't have to turn on the integrations inside of Gmail, Docs, and Drive. Google will ask you to opt in first, and you can turn it off at any time. Now, I've used it. I've seen it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was this. I just went to
Yes.
Google Docs and it said, "Oh, help me write something." I was like, "Okay," and I just used it. So that's what that is. That's the Bard integration.
Hi, this is Vishal.
No, keep going.
Okay. So they're saying that Bard extensions aren't limited to just Gmail, Docs, and Drive. It will also connect with Maps, YouTube, and Google Flights. This means you can ask Bard to pull real-time flight information, find nearby attractions, surface YouTube videos on a certain topic, and a lot more. Google will enable these 3 extensions by default. So they're saying this is only available through the new Bard extension and only in English for the time being. So Google and YouTube has been really busy this week. Really busy. And also another one that we rarely talk about is Amazon.
Yes.
So Amazon is bringing generative AI to Alexa. So they're going to have a new generative AI model to power improved experiences across its Echo family of devices. Here's a quote from Amazon. Our latest model has been specifically optimized for voice and the things we know our customers love, like having access to real-time information, effectively controlling their smart home, and getting the most out of their home entertainment. So they're saying this new model will have more conversational experiences that will take into account body language as well as a person's eye contact and gestures. It'll interact with APIs to enable new smart home capabilities. So they're saying examples like you want spooky lighting, it will give you that. And it will give Alexa a bigger and more opinionated personalities. So here's some more information. Look, direct quotes. The capabilities deliver unique experiences based on the preferences that you share, the services that you've interacted with, and the information about the environment in and around your home. This new model will allow you to surface personal reminders. For example, it can help you with recently played music or even come up with recipe recommendations based on your grocery purchases. So it looks like Alexa. Oh, she didn't wake up. Good. So it looks like the A is going to be more of a interactive thing where it's scanning you. What do we think of that?
No.
It just started to sound real creepy, like my personal, what did it say?
So they want to take into account your body language as well as your eye contact, and just so you know you're doing or talking. So, but that means it has to scan us. That's the only way it's going to do that.
It knows I'm rolling my eyes back. It knows, you know what I mean?
But that's giving me like a Star Trek kind of feel.
No, it's giving me iRobot.
Yes.
You know, it also has this thought going in my mind that, you know, the whole thing with the actors strike, you know, part of this is the AI thing. Where with the background actors in particular, they would be able to scan you once, right? You could do one thing and you duplicate you and use you into infinity and beyond without paying you. So how is this different? If you're getting my mannerisms, my body movements, my everything, could I then not replicate you to do some other things? You could.
Yeah, you could. You could. And I'm going to imagine that this is going to be an opt-in thing when you buy the new devices. And I'm going to be like, no, I don't want you scanning me. Don't scan me.
Most people are not techie enough to even know what that means.
Right, but and so it shouldn't be on by default. But you know they're probably gonna put it on by default, and then when you start talking to you, and you're like, "Wait a minute, who said that?"
Yeah, all of these things. If they're supposed to be opt-in, they should let you opt in. Don't have it on by default and then make people. And here's the thing: many of these things, and I'm not saying that they're all necessarily bad. They're not. But the problem is that they can be used for bad things. And I think just let people opt in, but they're counting on the fact that most people won't even know it's on.
Exactly. or how to
No,
turn it off.
they're gonna have to have some kind of notification. But that's why we're reading. You're looking at the tech stories and everything, and seeing that's what's coming up. So if you see these and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on the new devices. I don't see how they can put it on. Like if you've got it now, I don't see how it's going to be put on. It has to be put like if you buy the new Echo whatever that comes out, and then they say, oh, and it's going to be able to scan you and see your gestures and eye movements. I'm gonna be like, turn it off. Nope, I don't want that.
I'm just keeping my old
yeah,
my old home pod.
Yep.
I'm not trying to do extra.
Okay, so we got one more from Amazon about AI. So this is to stop AI spam. Amazon is limiting the number of ebooks you can self-publish daily. So this is a little blurb that I got from The Verge. They're saying on September 6th, Amazon said it was monitoring the use of generative AI by users of its Kindle Direct Publishing platform. That's the platform that you can use to self-publish your book and sell it on Amazon. So they're saying that Amazon put up an updated policy on the Kindle Direct Publishing platform this week, and it says, while we have not seen a spike in our publishing numbers, in order to help protect against abuse, we are lowering the volume limits we have in place on new title creations. You can only self-publish 3 books a day. Amazon says this will only affect a very small number of authors. Now, they've limited to 3 books a day because of AI and people going in and using AI to slapdash a book, and they're just pushing it out, thinking that, okay, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to publish 10 books a day, but it's junk. I don't want to buy it. I don't care what you put out. If it's junk, I don't want it.
And you're then flooding the market with inferior products.
Yes.
Making it more difficult to find things that are actually good.
Exactly. So this is why Amazon said, wait a minute, you people using AI to make the cover and write the book, and then like Dr. Chaji said, like, if you don't know what you're doing, ChatGPT, and you just write me a book, it's gonna sound robotic. And you're thinking, hey, I wrote a book. I'm an author. I got 10 books on Amazon. It's junk. It's not going to sell. And then the people that buy the junk is going to come back and be mad because they paid whatever for the junk and write in the reviews, this is a bunch of junk. So, and so Amazon had to put this out saying, okay, well, people are coming in and seeing the process is easy. Doesn't mean it's great. It's just easy now. And so people are taking advantage of the self-publishing program, publishing platform to just, like I said, they're just spitting out books, and it's junk. People will never buy junk. I don't care how, even though we have things coming from China in this, the Temu apps and all of, it's still junk. Amazon has junk. You have to look at the description, and you have to read the reviews, and you have to look at everything, because you will buy junk. There's no junk label. I wish it did have one. If it did, we could have it on these books that people are pushing out with AI and thinking they're authors. Just because you publish a book does not make you an author. That's my opinion. You're just self-publishing junk, which is what they're doing. And Amazon is like, whoa, wait a minute. Pump your brakes. You can only put up 3 a day.
You know what? If I may add, it's interesting that you said this, that just because you publish a book does not make you an author. I think that the thought process is, because all of these tools exist, anybody can be an author. But that's because we also have a disrespect of the field as it is. Now, that's the same thing as saying, if you know how to put on a Band-Aid, you too can be a surgeon. It's not, you can't, you cannot. So, and you see how ridiculous that sounds. So why would other people think that you too, Charlie Brown, can write?
There's a reason why people are called artists. There's an artistry and art to it. And I agree with, people are using ChatGPT because they see their eyes light up with dollar signs. They think, I could just get this robot to write my thing, and I don't have to do nothing but Count the money. People are buying the products, the junk that you're making. And if it's junk, I'm not going to buy it. Fool me
See,
once, you might get me once. But then I'm gonna be mad and I'm gonna go tell everybody that you're putting out junk, don't buy it. So that stops your bag if you're trying to get a bag. So I see a lot of people, I see a lot of people on Facebook with these courses. Oh, write your book and this and take this course and they're charging for the course. And I'm
see,
like, you're making junk.
right. Because, see, it takes effort to write. I'm a writer. It takes effort for me to write.
Yes. If it didn't, there would be like millions. There are millions of books, but I mean, there would be more books if it was an easy process.
So I took something I wrote a post and I ran it through I told Chat GPT to make this into a blog post, and it changed my cadence. And it changed my voice. I don't talk like this. I talk real short. Yeah. I don't do all this flowery stuff. I was like, oh no, I can't use you.
Right. So again, it's a tool, but you have to learn how to fine tune it. Just like you said about a surgeon, a scalpel in a surgeon's hand is something of artistry because they have learned how to use that scalpel to save somebody's life. If you gave it to somebody on the street, they would go, well, what would they do with it? They know not what to do with it, or if they used it, they would kill somebody. So that's what it's all about. It's about artistry, knowledge, information, all of that built up behind experience. Right. And people like that can use AI to make great, beautiful things that people want to buy, of quality, of value, that makes sense. Like Fran said, that makes sense. And see, these people are going, well, okay, here's the scalpel. We're just slashing everything thinking I'm doing something. You're not. You're not. Just because you can go to Amazon, the Kindle, and here's the book, and you put it in properly formatted, that doesn't make you an author. That just means you put out junk. You're a content publisher, not an author.
And it's not even good content. I've been seeing YouTube videos where you can tell that it was written by AI. They recorded it with AI and slapped some pictures on there. Right. And I'm like, okay.
And some people won't mind. The majority will. People who value quality information, quality goods and products and services that meet my need and service what I needed to service will appreciate the good stuff. People that don't care will go, they don't care, but they're on a different level. You can make junk, but not everybody's going to buy your junk. And this is where people go, well, okay, I did this, but it's junk. I don't want nobody wants what you have. We're getting to the point where Amazon has to say you cannot keep pushing out these books because we don't need a printer press. You don't need Random House, Penguin. You don't need any of those people. You don't need an editor. Obviously, you do. I'm being sarcastic. You don't need an editor. You don't need an illustrator. You don't need a bookbinder. You just go and you slap that thing through ChatGPT or whatever AI tool and upload it, the junk. And Amazon is like, whoa, wait a minute. Too much junk is coming in. Let's stop it. So that's what's happening with that.
Wow. Okay.
So that's my end of my content rant. All right, TikTok. There's more AI. Oh my God. TikTok has a new tool to label AI content within TikTok. So they have a new tool that will allow creators to label their AI generated content, and they're going to test other ways to label AI generated content automatically. So right now it's self-labeling, but they're going to eventually have a tool that will go, that's AI. And this is because OpenAI, and I'm pretty sure everybody else will, OpenAI will put some kind of coding in it that will, a watermark, so to speak, that will say this is AI generated, which will stop a lot of this I'm making junk stuff, because Amazon can then go, okay, this is AI generated, and push it to the side. Or even if they were smart, make a whole nother website. You want to make AI junk? Over there. and let the people that want junk go over there.
You need to be in that
It
line.
makes sense. Okay, so they're doing this. It's self-labeling now. There's nothing automatic, but it will be automatic. So here's the quote from TikTok: AI enables incredible creative opportunities, but can potentially confuse or mislead viewers if they're not aware content was generated or edited with AI. Labeling content helps address this by making clear to viewers when content is significantly altered or modified by AI technology. That's why we're rolling out a new tool for creators to easily inform their community when they post AI generated content. So see this on the creators.
Mm-hmm.
Now, getting back to the making of the junk, the people that use AI are not going to tell you that they're using AI. They're just going to upload it and say, see, here's this wonderful thing that I made. And right now, TikTok is saying you have to self-label, but there's gonna come a day when you forget to self-label, and TikTok's gonna put that watermark on it saying this is AI generated, and that will matter to some people.
Mm-hmm.
That will matter. So, and especially as we get into media and music and things like that, it will matter. It will matter. So, TikTok's not the only one. Instagram is looking into this. I think YouTube also. But right now, there's no automatic tool with any of the social media platforms to say this is AI generated and rubber stamp it. But it is coming. So they're working on it. Okay. So yeah, one more from TikTok. They are exploring a partnership with Google to help drive more search traffic. And what this is that they're testing Google results in TikTok search pages. So when you search in TikTok, you might see a link to search further and it says google.com and it have the little G icon. So Google got smart and was like, wait a minute, Gen Z's not coming to us. They're searching in TikTok and staying in TikTok. So let's go and jump in to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something they're testing. So TikTok and Google are exploring a new partnership which will integrate Google search prompts and even results. Because right
Mm-hmm.
now it's just a link to go to Google, but it could be later on the Google search results come into TikTok because all they know that Gen Z is not leaving TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we talked about that before, that they don't care about the China, and they don't care about any of that. Also, here's a quote from TikTok. A TikTok spokesperson has confirmed that the company is experimenting with third-party integrations within the TikTok app, including a test with Google. It's being trialed globally across several different markets. It is not an ad unit, and said they're saying that they are testing it, so it may not stay. And it's a custom integration made especially for Google. So that is what's going on with TikTok. All right, so let's go to Instagram and Facebook, and then that'll be that. Let's see. Did I have something about Instagram? No. Oh, yeah. So Meta has announced all of these different things. So right now on Facebook, you can have multiple personal profiles on Facebook. Now, before you could have different pages. If you were the owner of several pages, you could switch between them. But now they're saying that you could have multiple personal profiles on Facebook.
Why?
Let's talk.
But
Let's
they want us all
talk
to be
about it.
schizophrenic.
So Meta has launched its new multi-profile option, which will enable users to create multiple Facebook profiles to explore different interests, share different content with different audiences. So they're saying that you would have, if you're a person that likes to talk about a specific topic, but Facebook started out friends and family, your friends and family are tired of hearing you talk about this topic. So now you can make a profile, use that when you want to talk about that that topic, and then not disturb your original followers of friends and family because they're tired of hearing you post about this topic. So they're saying each profile will have a unique feed with relevant content, and you can easily switch between profiles are having to log in. So you don't have to log in and out. It's just going to be a switcher, just like in Instagram. If you use Instagram and you have multiple profiles, there's a way to switch. So here's the quote from Meta. Whether you're new to Facebook or a longtime user, you may want to keep your personal and professional relationships separate, or you may want to keep one profile tied to a community you're part of and another profile just for friends. Creating multiple personal profiles let you easily organize who you share with and what content you see for the various parts of your life. Think one profile for the foodie scene you love and another one to keep up with your friends and family. So now you can create the 4 additional personal profiles in the app, each with its own username and feed. So you're going to have a whole your Facebook feed is going to be multi personalities, and you're going to have to keep up with each feed.
Exactly.
Sybil.
So if that's something you want, it's available. So there you go. So Facebook is saying, Meta is saying that you don't want to annoy people when you talk about a certain thing that you love to talk about, but your friends and your family could care less. So you can go over there and talk.
So I can kind of see where they're coming from with this. I guess I understand their thought process. This is an idea for 2007. You were founded in 2004. It's now 2023. I think this is a little bit too late, and they're grasping at straws to try and get you to use it more. That fly is not leaving you alone, DJ.
I know.
I need it to get out. I rebuke that fly. Anyway, so I think this is grasping at straws. If you're asking me, they're really trying to up user engagement, because I think honestly they have ignored it for so long. They have not been active in getting people to be active, only because now there are threats. When the end all and be all was Facebook, they really didn't care. So it's like, whatever. But now they have to be more intentional about getting us to use it, because there are other threats, e.g. TikTok, e.g. Instagram, which is its own. So it's almost like cannibalizing itself because it's part of its ecosystem. So there are other threats. So they have to be more intentional. So they're like, oh, well, now you can make several such and suches so that now people who are annoyed don't have to see this. But the time to do that and separate and make that work well would have been in 2007, 2008. That's my opinion anyway.
And when we were trying to do that, they banned us from doing that. They penalized you
exactly
for creating a different profile.
They did.
And it was like saying, it's just like saying, well, we want more of this. I want to be able to, and I understand that maybe they were thinking it was for nefarious purposes, but there were some people that really wanted to be able to, well, no, I need this profile for family and friends, but this one is for not quite a business page, but some business stuff. And so we wanted to use it more. Facebook, you are the ones who told us we could not use it as we wanted. And then when we started to go other places, now you want to bring us back with the very things we wanted in the first place. My friend is
exactly. Well, Meta's all over the place. I call her the Death Star. So, but okay, one more from Meta. Well, actually 2 more and then we're done. Meta expands its paid verification program to business accounts. So they're testing the verification program on Facebook and Instagram with merchants in select geographies, but it plans to roll it out to businesses. And also it's going to put it on WhatsApp at a later stage. Businesses can purchase a subscription to Meta Verified at $21.99 per month per Facebook page or Instagram account.
No.
They can also pay $34.99 per month for both. That doesn't include WhatsApp. Now, Meta Verify for Business benefits include a badge, better reach, and impersonation protection. So the company is offering this same badge to businesses as the one offered to creators, so there's no differentiation. Meta didn't specify if impersonation protection for this tier is any different, and they're offering this for verified businesses. They're saying better placement in search results and recommendations to users in the feed. They're saying that paid business users will see their account at or near the top of search results. Plus, they will show up in a new carousel in the feed called Recommended Meta Verified Businesses.
Not for $21.99 a piece.
Right.
And you can get two of them
for page.
But you can get two for $34.99.
Right. For Facebook page and Instagram account. So it's $21.99 per Facebook page or Instagram account, not both. So if you have a page and Instagram, that's $21.99 times 2. Or you can pay the $34.99 per month for both.
Or they will allow us to be what? We're just vulnerable to what?
This is the impersonation. So you have
vulnerable to impersonation. Okay.
Right, as a business.
So in other words,
which is a big thing with a lot of online businesses and creators and coaches and things like that. They are being their content is being scraped and made fished or copied or spammed and stealing money from the business.
So what they're saying is, if I don't pay them, then they're going to just let them have at me.
It's just going to stay as it is. The same way it is now on Instagram. Same way it is on Instagram. You pay to get the blue badge to say that I am so and so and so.
So you're saying that if I don't have a badge, then they're just going to let people have at me.
Well, if you're not being fished or scammed or whatever, you don't need this.
Right. But there have been times where people, because somebody said, I got an
email from,
I got something from somebody that said
a link to buy something from you, but it
right. And I'm like, I haven't said anything else.
Right.
So I had to go in there and prove that I was me.
Right.
So that they could, because they were asking people for money. And I was like, hold on.
And this is happening on YouTube. It's happening everywhere with creators who are running like a business, or they're a coach, or they're running any kind of transaction. They're open to somebody stealing their profile image, because you could just right click, copy and save, and then copying their bio, copy and save, and then they go and create a new profile called your name, your business name _ or they put a little extra character at the end. People who are online do not pay attention to that extra line or E. I've seen some where they put an extra E or whatever the last thing is. Most people do not pay attention to that. They just see your picture.
Yes.
And they read the bio, and it's the same as your official one. And then they have a link to buy and scam wherever they have it set up, thinking it's you. That's what this is about. So if you're in that situation, then you would want to pay for this, because you can say, don't buy from it. You have to see the verified blue check, and then you know it's me. Otherwise, it's going to keep going. That's what this is about.
Yep.
That's what this is about.
I'm just not doing $21.99 per business.
It depends on how much of a pain is it for you. Like if you've got like 100 people scamming you and they're taking money out of your business, you might want to pay this.
Right.
But it depends on you. Like, you know, how much do you want to live with having to tell people they're scammers about, I will never send you a request for this. I will never send you have to say that. And I see that a lot on YouTube. A lot of people will say that on YouTube. They start off with, I don't do this, I don't do that. If you got an email from me, if you got something from me, it's not me.
Correct.
People are getting scammed. So this is how Meta is approaching it. So this is how they're doing it. Meta says also to purchase subscriptions, businesses will have to meet eligibility criteria, such as verification through phone, email, or domain name, and minimum activity on their pages or Instagram accounts. Meta says they will share more when they begin the rollout. So I think this is rolling out now. Also, they're going to do a verified program for businesses on WhatsApp. And they're saying they're going to have a paid tier on that. They don't have too much details on that. And that's what's going on. One more. Threads has added profile switching to the mobile app, not the desktop. So again, if you have more than one Threads account that you, and this is for people who do social media management of other people's social media accounts, they will want an easy way to switch in and out. So they've added.
That's really good because I can do BizChicks and mine without
right. Without having to log in and log out. Now you just switch, just like on Instagram.
That's good.
Okay. And that's it. That's your social media updates for this week.
Yeah, okay. That's work. Thank you, TJ.
You're welcome.
And now we now have Dr. Tati in the house. What say you in the world of media?
Lots.
Good.
Well, first of all, Rupert Murdoch has stepped down as the chairman of Fox and News Corp, in case you had not heard that. Yeah. So the man is 92. We knew this was coming soon, but I think he's still going to be, he's stepping down as chairman, but he will then be chairman emeritus, I think. So he's still kind of not going away. So this actually comes as his empire, which includes Fox News, is up for this election, well, next year's election. And earlier in the year, Fox actually, if you remember, paid almost $800 million to settle a defamation claim by the voting tech company Dominion. Now, you know that there were several people on that network that claimed that there was some shady dealings going on with the last election. As a result, Dominion, of course, they were flooded with threats and all sorts of things. So it was defamation because, you know, the claim is that's not true. Right. So they had to pay $800 million for that. So yeah. So Murdoch is stepping down as chairman of both the board of both Fox Corp and News Corp, and the move will be official in November. As I said, he's going to be appointed chairman emeritus of each company, and Lachlan Murdoch, who's one of his sons, will become the sole chairman of News Corp and will continue as Fox Corp's executive chair and CEO. So Methuselah Murdoch said this: "Our companies are in robust health, as am I. We have every reason to be optimistic about the coming years. I certainly am, and I plan to be here to participate in them. But the battle for the freedom of speech, ultimately the freedom of thought, has never been more intense." So my thing is like you're 92, but it also is very convenient because this has been a very tumultuous year for them, especially with that $800 million settlement because of the false claims in case. In fact, that's a huge thing. So he's probably also ready to be done with that. But as I said, he will still be chairman emeritus of both companies. So if anybody cares about Fox and News Corp, there you go.
Not really.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on. Really. So this is interesting. One watcher will be paid $2,500 to decide which Netflix series is the most binge-worthy, and people can actually apply for this. Ooh. So onlinecasinos.com is on a search to find the ultimate TV binger to give them their dream job. So they're basically an online ranking service, and they're going to pay you $2,500 to help identify the most binge-worthy show or binge-watchy on Netflix. So the three most popular series on Netflix are all contenders right now, including Stranger Things, Squid Game, and Wednesday. And you know, all three are ratings juggernauts for Netflix and hugely popular. So whoever is chosen for the job will be paid to, quote, sit back, relax, and feast on your favorite snacks while streaming multiple episodes back to back. Applicants from all over the world will be accepted as long as you're 18 or older. And this offer is in honor of National Binge Day, which falls on Monday. I didn't even know there was a National Binge Day.
No. You either.
Knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, so Monday is National Binge Day, and you can go to onlinecasinos.com/TV Binger Dream Job. And there's a dash in between each word. Again, onlinecasinos.com/TV-Binger-Dream-Job if you want to apply for that. So the entries actually close at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
I may have missed something. So they're going to choose between Stranger Things, Wednesday, and Squid Games.
Those are all contenders.
Okay, but they have to sit and watch these?
Yes, episodes back to back. Now, I don't know if they have to watch the entire season or what the thing is. It doesn't really say. There's more. This is according to USA Today. If you go to the online casinos, I think there are more details there. Yeah. So if you go to that page I said, it gives you
The details.
more details.
Because it seems to me that we already know that those three are okay. They're trying to judge to find out which one is the top.
It's the top. Exactly. So here's more on the website. The winner will need to score each TV series out of 10 based on the following criteria: bingeability rating, which is likeliness of you watching more than one episode in each sitting; distractibility rating, how often you found yourself distracted during the show, like work emails, etc. Snoozability rating, the likelihood to send you to sleep. Listen, if I'm laying down, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to sleep.
It don't matter which one it was.
Exactly. Take two rating, likeliness that you'd rewatch the series, and the grand finale rating, just how you were at the end at the finale season. So, or the season finale rather. So you're binging and scoring the following. Yeah. So it is these three: Squid Game, Stranger Things, and Wednesdays, because they're the most streamed shows of all time. So those are the three that you're doing. And let me tell you what you get. So you get $2,500, but it's $2,000 that you get paid, and $500 to cover snacks and a Netflix subscription. So it's actually a little more than $2,500. Yeah. So if you're interested and you're already sitting on the couch doing nothing anyway, maybe this is for you.
Maybe.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about Game of Thrones. So the creator of Game of Thrones and other authors have sued OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, for copyright infringement. John Gresham, Jodi Picoult, and George R.R. Martin are among 17 authors that are suing OpenAI for systematic theft on a mass scale. And this is the latest in a wave of legal action by writers who are concerned that AI programs are using their copyrighted works without permission. Well, yes, that's what AI does. And so in papers that were filed Tuesday in federal court in New York, the authors are saying that there is, quote, flagrant and harmful infringements of plaintiffs' registered copyrights, and called ChatGPT a massive commercial enterprise that is reliant upon systematic theft on a mass scale. So this suit was organized by the Authors Guild. It also includes David Baldacci, Sylvia Day, Jonathan Franzen, and Ellen Hinderbrand, among others, who I guess are all popular authors in the Authors Guild. Let me read what the Authors Guild CEO said, and that would be Mary Rasenberger. It is imperative that we stop this theft in its tracks, or we will destroy our incredible literacy culture, which feeds many other creative industries in the US. Great books are generally written by those who spend their careers and indeed their lives learning and perfecting their crafts. To preserve our literature, authors must have the ability to control if and how their works are used by generative AI. Now, this kind of ties into the same thing Terry was talking about
Mhm.
in terms of junk on Amazon and elsewhere, right? So this is a threat across the board, a threat to flood the market, as we said, with inferior products, and also a threat of scraping the internet for work that is out there by authors who have copyrights and then just putting it together into something else. I mean, you all just don't know. I'm like watching and waiting with a hawk eye to see what students are writing this semester. Hawk eyes, I'm telling you.
Because
So,
you can tell, right? You can tell when it's a complete copy paste from AI. You can tell the voice is different. It's just stands out.
Right.
exactly. And I mean, that's part of the thing that, and this is all professors that will be looking at this. That's part of the reason, if you're teaching online, for having, or even in the classroom, for having discussions and having, people write to discussion boards if it's an online class. My class is online and they're required to participate in the weekly discussions, right? So, you're going to look at that and then somebody could say, but they could easily write those discussions with AI. Well, not if I'm also asking you follow up questions about the thing and I need you to sound natural and normal. And I'm asking you and it sounds like a manufactured answer.
Mhm.
I'm going to be able to tell. And I know that there are some now, but they'll be coming out with more sophisticated tools to be able to detect that AI plagiarism, whether or not someone used
Mhm.
an AI tool to write an entire paper. Because,
Right.
baby, I don't want you treating me, servicing me, doing any of that if you got your
Mhm.
degree under nefarious
Mhm.
circumstances, meaning you did
Agree.
not do your own work.
Right.
No,
Yeah. 'Cause
no.
what's gonna happen? And I think I mentioned it. OpenAI is working on watermarking, or there's gonna be something embedded to when they copy and paste, baby, they won't be able to they won't be able to get rid of that tag that says this was generated by AI. Or
Unless you
something
pay.
in there, or something will be put in there to where you can run a tool, run it through a tool, and it says this is, it because the tools we have now are not that great at detecting it. I mean, to like 100% accuracy, but there will
Mhm.
be something digitally inserted somewhere. I don't know the process; they're working on it, but it's going to be able to say this is AI, just like the TikTok story. Like they're working on, like right now you have to self-identify and say, okay, yeah, I use a, which a lot of people are not. They're not, but the day is coming to where you will not be able to avoid that, and it's going to be unavoidable. So I
Yes.
wish they
Now
hurry
there
up.
are, yeah, exactly. They need to hurry that up.
Yeah, they
There
hurry
are
up.
already some tools. So, example, for the classroom I teach in, there is a turnitin.com, which for
Mhm.
years has been used by professors and by universities and even I think maybe schools even use it. I don't know if they use it in K through 12, but I know on the university level we do. And that is when students turn in work, you're able to check to see if this work appears someplace else, how to what percentage it is plagiarized or lifted from someplace else.
Mhm.
Now, that could be somewhat useful because AI is scraping from the web
Right.
to make these things and then reorganizing them. So I should be able to, by using turnitin.com, get at least some of these things, maybe not
Mhm.
whole paragraphs, but at least
Right.
some, to where I can determine, yeah, you didn't do this, or you
And
didn't
see,
do a good job of interpreting what this said without copying. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Sorry.
and see, the thing is that the ChatGPT tools of the world, they're not supposed to be like I used with the Amazon book. You're not supposed to go and write me a book about and just spit it out and use it as whole. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a creative jumping off tool for you to go, well, okay, I need to write or talk about something and I have no idea where to start. And you put something in and then it says, oh, and you go, oh, there's a gem of an idea in there. I use the idea, not the copy and pasting of the whole thing from ChatGPT. That's not what it's supposed to be, but they're doing that. So we need to fix that part, because it is a good tool to say, okay, I need a creative idea. I need a jumping off point to spark my brain to write something or to create something that is from me. But I need the gem of an idea. That's really what it's supposed to be, but they're not doing that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think part of the thing comes when people are trying to write about things that they really don't know that much about anyway. And so they're cheating by trying to use these tools to make them seem more adept than they actually are. So, but fraud is always discovered, because if you already have a fair amount of knowledge about something and it's your expertise, you maybe just need some jump starting.
Right.
It's not going to be a problem for you. You're not going to use these AI tools to completely write all of your stuff. It's just like, okay, I didn't think about that. Let me go ahead and add that in, or whatever the case may be, and not use it in its entirety. It's the people who are trying to perpetrate fraud who will sit there and let it write for them entirely. And maybe I am talking to you out there, and if I am, you should be offended and ashamed. I don't care.
You should be offended. And I'm saying, when I use it to do things that I know about, the misinformation jumps off the screen at me. I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. That's wrong. But you're right. That somebody who doesn't have the knowledge or the expertise of the subject matter are going to just take it as is, and that's when they get caught. And also the fact when they copy and paste the whole thing, and then there's the prompt from ChatGPT at the top. Like, okay, you couldn't even just edit it a little bit. That's what I mean, the laziness of it. But
exactly. So in any case, that's what's happening over in the camp with the Authors Guild, and this is not it. Be prepared for more of this type of thing. So again, OpenAI, in addition to all these other AI tools, they're going to need to find a way to. Oh, sorry. They're going to have to find a way to put a watermark, or to identify that this came from someplace, so we don't continue to have problems. All right, let's take a look at the, strike is still going on, and the WGA and studio CEOs are going to meet again on Friday. They met on Wednesday. They're meeting again today to kind of, sort things out. So the Guild is urging members to get out on the picket line in force. So they're heading back to the bargaining table with the CEOs of Netflix, Disney, Universal, and Warner Brothers today. And it's early out there for you all. It is what is it, 10 o'clock now for you guys? 10:05?
Yes, 10:05.
10:05. So I don't know what time that meeting is taking place, but it probably, if it's not happening now, it will be very soon. So in a statement, the Guild said to their members, the WGA and AMPTP met for bargaining today and will meet again tomorrow. So they had a session Thursday night. I thought it was Wednesday, but it was Thursday. So executives Ted Sarandos, who of course is from Netflix, Bob Iger, who is from Disney, Donna Langley, who is Universal, and David Zaslav, who is Warner Brothers, are all anticipated to be in attendance today, along with AMPTP President Carol Lombardini and a whole bunch of lawyers. Okay. So on the other side, WGA chief negotiator Ellen Stutzman, along with David Goodman and Chris Kaiser, will be in the room at the AMPTP's Sherman Oaks offices. So scheduling and attendance weren't the only messages that the Guild wanted to convey later on last night, after an unresolved marathon of negotiating sessions. They said this: your negotiating committee appreciates all the messages of solidarity and support we have received in the last few days, and ask as many of you as possible to come out to the picket lines tomorrow. And that's for LA and New York, and they mean today. So yeah, this is what happened. So they were actually the last time on Thursday, they were unable to close a deal to end it's now 144-day writers' strike.
Really?
The industry, yes.
5 months.
104
days. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's the reason we are watching reruns of everything.
No, people can watch us.
Anything.
People can watch the BizChicks People can watch
Yes, they
Perry.
can.
People can watch me and Indie Soup Meat
I'm
Yes.
on
House when
YouTube.
people can watch YouTube.
I'm
We
watching.
have
Yes.
choices. We
Right.
have choices. I did look. I think a lot of us are kind of over. Not that we're not supporting, but we're over. You know, you not doing right, so that
Mhm.
we can watch things. So fine, we found alternatives, right?
There's something else to watch.
And get more work done.
Thank you. Exactly. I could turn on YouTube and put on some like lo-fi music, put on
Yep.
some there's this thing I love to watch, which is actually Fort Lauderdale Beach. Okay, yeah, I live a mile away, but so what? It's
Oh,
Fort
is
Lauderdale
it where
Beach.
you get to see the beach? I want to see that.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. It's
Yeah,
actually
send it to me.
PTZ TV, and you
Mhm.
can. They have a whole bunch of things like the Miami, not the marina, but the
Mhm.
where the cruise ships come in,
Mhm.
and the
Oh, I
dock.
love those kind of. I watch it. There's a channel. I think it's called Tranquility, and they do Fiji beaches and Jamaica. It's all of the like tropical
Oh, I
beaches, and
love
you just
that.
put it on, and
And
it's
you
Yeah.
just, you
4K,
just
and it's
see.
the sound of the water, and it's just. Whew, I love it.
Yes. So it's kind of cool because I'm like, okay, I know where all these places are, which is cool. So if you want to watch Fort Lauderdale Beach, you could go to PTZ TV, and it has a Fort Lauderdale Beach Cam. And I
Ooh,
think
I like
there's
that.
also one, they have like all the beaches in Florida. So yeah, take a look. And it's particularly interesting during spring break because you see all the spring breakers. I'm like, wow, I'm not
Okay.
going there. The place is the sea on the beach or inside the water. It's a sea of people.
Oh,
So
I love those types of videos. YouTube's great.
YouTube is great. There are the point is there are things to watch. And so because they've been shut down for almost 5 months, almost no one is working, and the greater Los Angeles County is facing an economic hit of up to 5 billion. Let's
Oh,
not forget, people, that most of LA is employed by the entertainment industry in some way, shape, or form,
yeah.
whether not directly, indirectly, because you own a mechanic shop that services cars by people who work on XYZ show, that type of thing. So everybody is affected because now if you're not working, you're like, well, this car will just sit because I'm not going anywhere, right? And you don't have anything to fix.
Mhm.
So directly or indirectly, Los Angeles and Los surrounding areas is hugely affected by the shutdown of the entertainment industry. So, yeah, these CEOs actually stayed late last night to be able to work this out. Nothing came of it. So that, okay, well, get ready to strike more tomorrow. And we'll go back to bargaining and doing things. But I really urge. I personally am very much on the side of labor on this one. Of course, I mean, most of the time I would say that I'm most on the side of labor. I'm on the side of labor. Stay strong. It is really easy to break, and that is what these studios and companies bank on you doing, breaking, because you need them so much. No person should have that much power over you. And I think that also leads us to, this is why I say that the future is independent when it comes to content. You need to start thinking, if you're making all this money for them and they don't show you any love, why do you continue? Just saying.
Mm.
So, and I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying you need to be thoughtful about it, because nobody should hold their destiny in their hands like that. So,
Right.
yeah,
Agreed.
here we go. So let's keep going
Mhm.
about this. So I'm sure we all know about Dancing with the Stars, and there are a few shows, talk shows, etc., morning talk shows that were all set to go back. Jennifer
Yes.
Hudson, The View is still on. Bill Maher,
Mhm.
even though that's evening, right? There were a lot of these shows were set to go back, and Drew Barrymore was the biggest one that we saw reaction from, because she was set. A lot of these shows were set to start taping again on Monday, and of course, the guilds were not happy with that and upset and tearfully. Drew Barrymore, I think she was really sincere, but I will also say the road to heaven is paved with good intentions and sincerity. So at some point, you have to be responsible for the decisions you make. Yeah, apologize when you make a mistake, but is that a mistake you should have made in the first place? Really, let's be honest. Whenever you have your brothers and sisters that are that's something that you're part of as well, that are striking or that are attempting to strike to get better conditions, you need to be on their side. So I can see on one hand, some of these people are like, for example, Dancing with the Stars is like a 500-person production, and they're
Mm.
trying to keep people working. I get that. That's one end of it. But if you ask me, the bigger end is they're losing money and they want people to go back to work. It's never about the workers.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here. So Dancing with the Stars was one of these shows that was set to debut. They're thinking about walking it back now because the guild has said, oh no. And Dancing with the Stars only has one WGA writer because it's a reality-based show, so there's not a whole lot of writing to be done. So the one WGA member they have is the one that is actually doing the writing for the hosts, okay? So obviously that writer is not there, but they were going to go on and continue without this person. The guild was like, oh no, why would you do that? So now, see, the thing is that is interesting is people are being shamed into not taping, into walking things back. Should I have to shame you or cajole you or bribe you to do the right thing? How terrible is this? It's actually really terrible. So yeah, so Dancing with the Stars, SAG-AFTRA has assured, first of all, they've assured the members that are on Dancing with the Stars, and there are some the SAG members. I think it's like 7 of them that are SAG. So for example, like Allison Hannigan from How I Met Your Mother, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, etc. And there's some others on there that are SAG that well, Britney Spears' sister, what's her name? Something Spears. Jamie Lynn Spears. She's also SAG, and she's supposed to be on this season. So there are some SAG members that are supposed to be on, but SAG-AFTRA has assured the members on Dancing with the Stars that they are not breaking strike rules because the reality show operates under the network code contract that is separate from the union's current TV theatrical strike. Okay, so it's separate. That's why reality is not underneath that. You know, reality is exempt from this. News is exempt from this. It's only TV/theatrical, which is scripted television. So that's what's happening there. And just to let you know, SAG-AFTRA released a statement yesterday reiterating this, that saying that they're not in violation of the code. Quote, the majority of our members on Dancing with the Stars had had contractual obligations to the show prior to the strike. Many are under option agreements that require them to return to the show if the producer exercises their option, which the producer has done, according to SAG-AFTRA. So our members are also subject to a no strike clause in the network code collective bargaining agreement. This means our performers agree not to strike during the term of the collective bargaining agreement and to show up to work during this term. By not showing up to work, our performers can be held in breach of contract, and the union is prohibited from advising them not to work. So as you can see, this falls underneath something different. But I think this is also part of the issue. There's a lack of unity. And again, I understand it's a different contract, it's different rules. But when we start nitpicking the rules and the contracts and this and that, it affects the entire guild, right? It affects the entire industry. So one part of us is striking and the other is not, even if they're in support. So then they just say, well, I don't care. We'll just put on news and sports and reality shows all day and we're fine. We don't need you. You see what happens there? So they have you by your heels either way. So it's an interesting thing. I hope some resolution comes on. But now let me talk about this. ABC is still considering delaying Dancing with the Stars premiere because of all of this. So Matt Walsh is one of the contestants and he's on Veep. And he said in a statement that he's going to pause his involvement with the show until an agreement is made with the Writers Guild of America. He said, I was excited to join the show and did so under the impression that it was not a WGA show and fell under a different agreement. This morning, when I was informed by my union, the WGA, that it is considered struck work, I walk out of my rehearsal. I have been and will always stand with my union members of the WGA, SAG, and DGA, which is Directors Guild. So it's already starting to affect. So even though SAG-AFTRA is okay to be on there, WGA is not. And there's a possibility that you could be in more than one union, like Matt Walsh is. Yeah. Thoughts? Anybody?
Wow.
This
I don't know. This is just really going on and on. I really feel for the striking members. I know it must be a strain financially.
A huge financial strain. In fact, there is, let me see if I can find it, who it was. Yes, Seth MacFarlane, who we know from Family Guy fame and all these types of things. He's a comedian. He's actually donated $5 million to the Entertainment Community Fund to kickstart a new $10 million initiative. So that's great. He's opening his wallet once again because he donated $1 million in July for its efforts to support industry professionals because of the dual strike. And now he's committed another $5 million. So they have a $10 million initiative. He's already given $6 million of his own money for
Wow.
this. Yeah, actually. So it's previously known as the Actors Fund. It's now ECF. And it actually supports actors, actually beyond actors, to offer programs and services, financial and otherwise, to those who work in the entertainment industry. So as of September 19th, they've distributed more than 7.4 million to more than 3,500 film and TV workers, including writing assistants, production assistants, key grips, gaffers, lighting and sound designers, script supervisors, and people who work in craft services, also hair and makeup professionals, wardrobe, and others. All these people that are behind the scenes that we don't think about, that they're not working either, right? So we only usually think about actors when it comes to that, or writers, because these are, but guess what? If the actors are not acting, the writers are not writing, nothing is happening. So there's no job for you either. So it's great that this is also extending beyond the actors. And good for you, Seth MacFarlane. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, but let me tell you who else has donated to this fund. They've gotten millions of dollars from thousands of donors. Some are notables like Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw, Herb Alpert, Katie McGrath, and J.J. Abrams. Also, Shonda Rhimes is in there, right? But this money can go fast. So there are lots of requests now, and they're currently distributing about 400,000 to 500,000 per week, compared to an average of 75,000 per week in the first half of 2023. So you can see this strike has really started to put a strain on this. But hopefully something happens. And this actually comes on the heels of the showrunner fundraising match. And that was an initiative that was launched on September 11th to support film and TV workers who are not on strike, but have been impacted by the work stoppage. Yeah. So they exceeded their initial goal of raising $500,000 in less than a week. So good for them. Hollywood is pulling together for Hollywood and to help with this. And, the hope is that all of this ends soon so that people can actually go back to work, because this cannot be a forever thing. But, we need to start thinking, what if it was a forever thing? What would we do then?
Right.
What is our plan B?
Right. There definitely needs to be a plan B.
Absolutely. So I am going to just give a couple of more stories because I know we are well over, and I just wanted to go ahead and do this. So Will Smith is going to host the Class of '88. It's a podcast celebrating one of hip hop's most prolific years, which is 1988. He is set to host Wondery and Audible's new limited podcast series. And it's a collaboration that takes a look back at the year that helped launch the global cultural phenomenon of hip hop. And during each episode, Will Smith is going to sit down with some of the era's most influential artists, including Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Daryl DMC McDaniels, Rakim, Fab Five Freddy, DJ Jazzy Jeff, of course, Chuck D, JJ Fad, and DJ Red Alert to celebrate the landmark year for music. Now, we already know hip hop was around in various forms before 1973, but 1973 is credited as the year that hip hop was born. And
Mhm.
it was a defining year for the genre. From music to fashion and film, they gave rise to artists and creatives that really left their mark on the industry. So that's why they chose 1988. Again, that's going to be on Audible. It's produced by Wondery. It's going to be produced by Wondery, Audible, Westbrook, and Awfully Nice. And all 8 episodes of this limited podcast are going to be released on October 26th, exclusively on Amazon Music and Audible. So if you have those and you're interested, check that out in October. All right. So I think the last thing I will talk about is this. How many of you were Family Matters fans? Any of you?
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Okay.
Me.
Well, okay, good. Well, we all watched it at least, right?
Yeah.
And so Family Matters, actually today is the anniversary of the debut of Family Matters. So
Really?
Friday, and it was a Friday. Friday, September 22nd, 1989 is the anniversary of the debut of Family Matters.
Matters.
Yeah, Family Matters and Family Members.
Yeah, Urkel.
Exactly. So it's interesting because there's a whole thing in the Hollywood Reporter, and this ran for 9 seasons.
Wow. That's a
It
long
ran
time.
it's a long time. It did start to get a little ridiculous at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
absolutely. It got ridiculous. But anyway, it's interesting that there's a whole little article on it in the Hollywood Reporter. It's called Family Matters at THR's, the Hollywood Reporter's 1989 review. So it looks like we're going back to the 80s with the podcast that Will Smith is hosting. And today is the anniversary of Family Matters debut. And that's what I have for you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. So many things going on in the world.
Wow.
And you get the best look at it right here on BizChicks.live, BizChicks on this program, especially on Fridays with Tech Life Weekly. We do deep dive into tech, media, social media, and things that are going on in the world with regards to tech, stuff that's happening new and old. So we want to say thank you for joining us. You can become a part of the BizChicks family. You can text biz to 33777 to join in, or you can go to bizchicks.net to become a part of this great community of women. And we do have some biz dudes too. So check us out, join the community, and make sure you follow Dr. Tachi on Mediascope and look for her on a new broadcast outlet called Indie Soup. It's coming up really soon. And then you can catch TJ on terryjohnsononline.com.
.com/info.
Yeah.
Or .com. You don't have to do the info.
Yes. terryjohnsononline.com everywhere. And they're on Instagram, and they are on just about every platform that you can think of. So go find them, go follow, and come back here for some more Tech Life Weekly. And thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. And we also want to say thank you for tuning in live every week or watching the replay, because you could have been anywhere else on the planet, but you stopped in to see us, and we do appreciate your time. And we want to say thank you for allowing us to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. And we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.